Hey you! Hey everyone! I'm Arra. I originally got this machine that you see here to have a safe Windows 11 setup since, we all know, Windows 10 was ending. I even did a little gaming on it. But what I really liked and what sold me was the energy efficiency of the Radxa X4. The low power consumption makes it perfect for long sessions. After joining the Radxa X4 Discord community, I learned so much more about computing and saw that adding a graphics card could seriously improve gaming performance. I chose the GTX 1650 because it's also extremely energy efficient and pairs really well with the N100, which is already reaching its maximum performance. So today, we're building a gaming setup with the Radxa X4 and the GTX 1650, testing how it handles games and kicking off a series exploring everything this little board can do. Let's get into it. Now, before we really start building this thing, I would first like to share some information about the parts that you see here on the screen. On the left top side, you see the GTX 1650, which is very power efficient. An M.2 adapter to connect it to the Radxa X4, and on the other side, the Oculink adapter, where we'll plug in the PCIe connector and power it through a Pico PSU, rated for 12 volts and up to 120 watts. Next to it, you can see the Oculink cable we'll be using and a 1 TB Western Digital NVMe-SSD and its case, which we'll use to run Windows 11 externally. On the bottom right is the Radxa X4 with 16 GB of RAM, and finally our two power supplies. One rated at 30 watts, which is the standard for the Radxa X4 provided, and the other on the left bottom side, up to 120 watts. Now we can finally start with the actual build. While I am taking off the heatsink support and attaching the first parts of the build, let's take a moment to talk about the Radxa X4 itself. This little board is incredibly power efficient. It's only using around 6 to 10 watts when idle and about 20 watts while gaming. Because of that, it runs perfectly stable with just a 30-watt power adapter. Inside, it's powered by Intel's N100 processor with integrated graphics, which we will be replacing with the GTX 1650 externally, and it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. The CPU runs at about 2.9 GHz and can boost up to 3.4 GHz when enabled in the BIOS. For gaming, it typically uses between 8 and 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is more than enough for the kind of games this setup can actually handle. It's really impressive how much performance and efficiency you can get in such a compact, low-powered design. While I'm finishing up the first part of the Oculink connection, I want to talk a bit more about the GTX 1650 and why I chose it for this setup. According to Tom's Hardware, its peak power draw is around 80 watts, but during my own testing with this build, the GPU consistently uses about 65 watts under load. What's nice is that this model doesn't need an additional 6-pin power connector, so it keeps the setup looking clean and simple. Since the N100 in the Radxa X4 is already the first component to reach its limit, there's really no point in using a more power-hungry GPU. Together with the Radxa X4 drawing around 20 watts, that keeps the entire system, even with the right monitor, comfortably under my 100-watt power goal. Right now, as you see, I'm improvising a bit with a cardboard stand. It does the job for the testing. But if you are building something similar, you could definitely 3D print a custom case for this amazing setup. It would look a lot cleaner and keep everything safely in place. Optionally, you can keep an eye on how much power the Radxa X4 is using with a simple USB-C power meter. It's a handy way to see the board's efficiency in real time. While we're unscrewing the NVMe SSD case and getting close to finishing the build, I just want to say how excited I am to share this very first video with you. In the next videos, I would love to be testing how this setup performs in real games at 1080p, and I also want to explore retro gaming emulation from PS2 and GameCube to older consoles, and maybe some Switch, who knows. I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What would you like to see me test first? Which game and category are you most curious about? Maybe a modern AAA title? Or a classic retro favorite? Your feedback will help me shape the next videos and make them even better. And if you found this video helpful, it would mean a lot if you could leave a like and subscribe. Your support really helps me keep making this content. Thanks for joining me on this first build, and I can't wait to share the performance test and experiments with you. Have a good one. Arra out.